All right, Garrett Johnston here with Tony Finau. Tony, I think about fatherhood. I mean, this is something that you've been really working on these last few years with the kiddos. Like,
Yeah.
how do you view it in terms of how it's changed you over these last few years?
Yeah, it's just giving me a greater perspective, I think, on life, and I guess a little bit of the circle of life. But um, you're responsible for taking care of them. So many aspects of their life you affect. So I think that needs to be taken seriously. But also, we have a lot of fun with them. I think they've just been so great for me in maturing and to the person that I am, learning how to love, learning how to forgive, because they are so loving and forgiving. It seems like intuitively. So, but anyways, there's nothing greater than I think the calling of being a parent, whether that's a mother or a father. And for me, being a father and a dad to my children is the greatest calling I can ask for. Yeah.
How much do you look in terms of your time during off weeks? What are you guys doing in the evenings? What are you guys doing? How are you planning things together as a family?
Yeah, I mean, we're together all the time. My kids travel with me about 90% of the time on the road, so I'm with them a lot. And I'm a huge believer in spending. Love is spelled Time. You have to be with them and spend time with them. You have to be with them often enough for them to know that you were there and just make an impact in their life. So that's the most important thing to me in my life is being there for them. And so, but yeah, we have a lot of fun. Like I said, we play games together. They love board games, card games, really anything. We love doing things together, and who knows how long that's going to last. Hopefully, for a long time. But as of right now, my kids just love being around me, and I just love that.
Do you get any trash talk at all with Drace or any of the other
Yeah,
guys?
yeah,
What
yeah.
are we talking about, now?
Yeah, 100%. Drake's a big trash talker, and apple doesn't fall far from the tree there. Growing up playing basketball, trash talk is just part of it, and we love teasing, poking fun at each other. At the end of the day, we know it's all love, and he's my biggest fan. I'm his biggest fan, and at the end of the day, I love the kid and always want what's best for him.
Definitely, yeah. As a father, you really want to, promise that with time, like you said.
That's right.
We said off mic here a second ago that before kids are 8 years old,
Yeah.
that's that critical time
That's
that
right.
we see with them, right?
That's right. It's the most important time. If you're not with your kid from the time they're born until they're 8 years old, the research has been done. After that, their time is you've kind of missed the window of opportunity to really get to know them and for them to have them trust you. So I'm a huge advocate for that, and that's why I love spending so much time with my kids while they're the ages that they are.
Yeah, formative years right now. Same
Yeah,
for mine,
that's
six
right.
and under.
Yeah.
I think about your game though right now, and obviously the strengths of your game. You've always been a pretty good driver of the ball, distance. What is kind of the hallmark of your driving that you feel?
Yeah, I've definitely grown into learning how to hit it straight. I've always had speed. I haven't always been a consistent driver of the golf ball. Like I haven't always hit it in play. So learning how to do that over the years has been definitely my strength. And then iron play, I feel like I've learned how to, have distance control, which is something that high speed guys struggle with. So just being able to hone in on that, I think, has definitely been my strengths. And then the weeks where we're getting up and down and making crucial par putts and things like that, I'm able to contend and hopefully win golf tournaments.
When you talk about highest speed, and when you think about fans at home, golfers at home, weekend golfers, what are some good practical ways to work on speed and bring it up?
Oh, well, speed. I mean, the most important factor when it comes to speed is how fast you can swing the club, and it's a lot of different factors. Everybody has their own anatomy on how they're built, and there's a lot of different ways to create the speed. But I think starting in the gym, being healthy is a huge part. You got to be flexible enough to move the club fast enough. The golf swing is on an arc. Everybody knows that. It's a huge arc, and the wider and the bigger you can make that arc, the longer the golf ball is going to go. So that comes with a lot of stretching. That comes with a lot of, I guess, athleticism. But at the end of the day, the wider you can make that arc, the longer the golf ball can go, and the faster you can swing the club, the further it will go. I mean, the technical part of it is you got to hit the center of the club face, but you have to have speed at the end of the day. And so a lot of times for me, when my son will do speed training, where I'm like, I don't really care how, where you hit it on the face. I want you to swing as hard as you can, and if you instill that in someone for long enough, they'll figure out how to hit it in the center and swing fast.
To allow yourself to be athletic, right?
Yeah,
Just
that's
kind of
right.
open up.
Yeah, 100%. Allow yourself to be athletic, and don't be scared to swing the club. Especially when on the driving range. I think when we watch a golf ball and it's curving too much, we're too worried about hitting it straight that we feel like, oh, it's smooth, smooth, smooth. But at the end of the day, it's like if you want speed, you got to swing with speed, and so training for that is only one way. You got to swing as fast as you can, and see where are you creating that speed.
Right on. Well, and I think about you being such a positive guy, though, too, and think about stats like bounce back, right?
Yeah.
When we all make mistakes out there in amateur game, but also in your game. How do you really have the right attitude to bounce back?
Yeah, I feel like I was trained since I was young to get over bad shots, and I think that's definitely one of my strengths is I know I'm going to hit a lot of bad shots during the course of a round, the course of a tournament. Moving on has always been a strength of mine. Just, I guess that expectation that I don't put too much pressure on myself that every shot needs to be perfect. I know I'm going to miss some fairways. I'm going to miss some putts. Just keep rolling with the punches, and I feel like things will go your way eventually.
When you say missing the putts, like if you have a bad read on a hole, and are there times where you start questioning your reads, or like is there a reset button you have when you're playing some of these tougher greens out there in tough tournaments?
Yeah, as long as you're learning, I think a lot of times it's okay to miss a putt, but knowing is huge in our game, especially adapting while you're playing. And I think that's another strength that you have to play golf at a high level. Is it's okay to miss a 6-footer, but if you can identify the reason why, then it'll help you move on with a clear mind that, oh, well, it was just a misread, or, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I hit it on the toe, and different things like that. And knowing how to kind of redirect yourself and overcome those things, I think, are just a huge part of being a good golfer.
Lastly, chipping. I know that it's so important to have different types of chips, right? Like, it's easy to have it as a crutch for some players out there to not really have the shots. What's the best way to get the shots? Is it just a matter of time, putting in the time in? Or?
Yeah, that's the great thing about chipping. Chipping and putting is, it doesn't take a lot of energy. You're right next to the practice screen, and you can spend hours and hours there. If you're an amateur, I would spend hours and hours chipping and putting more than I would on the driving range. I feel like the motion's easier just from hip to hip, and learn how to hit shots, playing around with the face a little bit. But I think it takes a lot of creativity to chip. I'm a huge fan of seeing the shot and trying to create the shot in my mind before I actually hit it. But yeah, using creativity I think is a huge way to improve your short game.
Always appreciate the time, Tony.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thanks, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.